What are the differences between intuitive and analytical thinking, and how do they affect the way we make decisions? Are you more of an intuitive or analytical thinker? Let's find out. Welcome, I'm Maria, and in this video, I will explain the differences between those two types of thinking, how they help you make decisions, and explore what type of thinker you may tend to be. First of all, let's define these two types of thinking. Intuitive thinking is when we rely on our gut feelings or instincts to make a decision. We might not have all the information we need, but we trust our instincts to guide us. On the other hand, analytical thinking is when we break down a problem into smaller parts and use logic and reasoning to come to a decision. We might rely on data, facts, or a step-by-step process to reach a conclusion. So, which type of thinking is better? Well, it really depends on the situation. Intuitive thinking can be useful in situations where we don't have a lot of time to make a decision or when we need to rely on our past experiences. For example, if you're walking somewhere unfamiliar and you get a feeling that something isn't right, it's probably best to trust your instincts and turn around. However, intuitive thinking can also lead to biases and errors in judgment. For example, if you're trying to solve a complex math problem and you rely solely on your gut feelings, you might not come up with the correct answer. Here's a question for you. I'll give you a few seconds to solve it. If it takes 5 machines 5 minutes to make 5 hammers, how long does it take 100 machines to make 100 hammers? If you answered 5 seconds, you are correct and used your analytical thinking to solve it. An intuitive thinker will answer 100 minutes, which is not correct. On the other hand, analytical thinking can be useful when we need to make a well-informed decision based on data and facts. For example, if you're trying to decide which car to buy, you might look at reviews, safety ratings, and price comparisons to make the best choice. But analytical thinking can also lead to overthinking and analysis paralysis, where we get stuck in a cycle of analyzing and second-guessing our decisions. Which type do you tend to be? Well, here are some questions that may help you find out. Are you sensitive to other people's feelings and consider the emotions of people around you? Are you good at discerning people and situations? In other words, are you good at observing people and can pick up on nonverbal cues and body language? Do you have good self-awareness? Do you tend to trust your gut? If you answered yes to both of the questions above, then you may be more of an intuitive thinker. But let's keep going. Here are more questions. Do you tend to ask a lot of questions, especially before making decisions? Do you tend to be a skeptic? Do you value evidence and facts? Do you welcome challenges? Are you a methodical, logical, or organized person? If you answered yes to more of these questions, then you may be more of an analytical thinker. Can you be both? Yes, we may have a tendency to think a certain way, but can employ either way of thinking depending on our situation. For example, let's say you're trying to decide whether to take a new job offer. You might use intuitive thinking to consider how you feel about the job and the company culture, but then use analytical thinking to research the salary and benefits. I tend to be more of an intuitive thinker, but have learned to slow down and be more logical when it comes to making some decisions, such as when I was deciding on the preschool for my children. You should have seen my pages of notes of pros and cons and comparison charts for all the schools I visited. Talk about overthinking and analysis paralysis. Both types of thinking have their strengths and weaknesses. The key is to find a balance between the two and know when to use each type of thinking, and also to appreciate others who think differently than ourselves. I am thankful that my husband is more of an analytical thinker. So trust your instincts when appropriate, but don't forget to analyze the facts when making important decisions. If this video helped you, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel to learn more about applying child development concepts. Watch this video next and see you there.